Welcome to the Hutt River City Centre section upgrade project, which will protect Lower Hutt city centre and surroundings from flooding, both now and well into the future. We're focusing on the area between Kennygood Bridge and Ewan Bridge because that's where the river narrows and is prone to flooding, which, if it entered the city centre, would put lives and more than $1 billion worth of property at risk. To avoid this, we're proposing to widen River Channel, build higher and stronger stop banks and ultimately replace Melling Bridge. We need better levels of protection because we know from climate change studies that we can expect larger and more frequent floods in the future.
Here you see the impacts of a major flood, with the left panel showing how a breach of the current stop banks on the west would flood south to Petone. On the right, the effects going south to Waifa 2 follow a breach on the CBD side. The colours show the depth of the floodwaters. After analysing many different options, we've selected two which will meet the community's agreed goal of securely coping with a 1 in 440 year flood, which is a significant flood capable of widespread damage. We must prepare for this, and each of the two options presents a different way of doing so. Option A, one step, will provide at least 100 years of protection from the outset. Option B, two-step, provides intermediate protection, but we will need to start upgrading to option A in about 20 years to ensure we are ready for larger and more frequent floods.
This video explains how these options work, what the benefits of the full project will be for Lower Hutt, and who will be affected by the proposals. Let's take a look at them. Option A, one step, provides better security because it widens the river corridor on the motorway side of the river and offers longer term protection of around 100 years, but will require the removal of private properties along Farrison and Marsden streets.
Option B, two steps, takes a staged approach. It stays within the river corridor for now and will provide protection for some 30 years. However, in about 20 years, we will need to start planning to move to option A. When we do, we will need to purchase properties in Farrison and Marsden streets.
Here are the options compared. To recap, both are the same on the city side of the river, where the stop banks will integrate with the city. The key differences are to be found on the motorway side of the river, such as the width of the grass berm and the location of the stop bank, and whether private property will be needed to be removed to make way for it. The choice to be made is whether to go with option B before migrating to option A, as climate change effects require, or whether we simply go straight to option A in one step. We'd like to hear your views on which of the two options you prefer and why. The following short video describes the broad context of the two options, A and B. The view looking north up the river from the Ewan Bridge outlines the two options. The yellow band shows the stop banks and the berms of option B, two steps, and the orange shows how it would expand on the motorway side to become option A, one step, in about 30 years or when climate change effects require. Properties in the orange band will have to be removed. The blue shows the river channel, which will be widened. On the city side, a future city edge will bring Hutt City closer to its river.
Melling Bridge will need to be replaced to widen the river channel, and investigations are continuing into how this may be achieved and how its intersections may be improved.
And a new stop bank will be built from Melling to Mill Street to link to the recently completed Bulcott stop bank and complete flood protection work in that area. As well as the flood protection improvements, the project incorporates a park landscape, better access to the river, ecological habitat, and a promenade with opportunities for new commercial and apartment development to be built alongside the river. The following video shows the potential for the area where the city meets the river. Please note the images are indicative only, as no details have been worked out as yet. Looking south from Melling Bridge, the first feature is the Cycleway Pedestrian Bridge that will link Melling to the city centre, providing good access for commuters and shoppers. Under option A, one step, park and ride facilities may be built for commuters. Cityside connections will take on a whole new appearance. Pathways will flow from the bridge onto a promenade along landscaped stop banks and planted berms that will both create flood resilience and offer great opportunities for recreation and relaxing. Given its obvious potential as a gathering point, we expect private developers will develop cafes, restaurants, shops and apartments, bringing new life and revitalising the area and providing places to sit and meet friends, get a coffee and bring the kids. Good links between the stop banks and city streets will promote easy access and high use along this active edge, as this representation of a future Andrews Avenue shows. Ramps, steps, lifts or pathways will make it easy to reach the river and its promenade, enabling people to enjoy all the river has to offer. A riverside city for the Hutt, protected from the threat of floods. It's an exciting prospect and a very significant decision for the community. We want to hear your views on the options and more. You can see more and provide feedback at www.gw.gov.nz or simply call 830 4011 for more information. Please provide your feedback by 14 September